There's a war on right now that has 1/5 of the world's oil bottled up behind a single stretch of water, and the oil has climbed 3 days in a row because of it. And yesterday, with all that happening, the American stock market closed at the highest level it has ever reached in its history. Both of those things are true at the same time. And if that doesn't strike you as a little bit insane, it should, because hidden inside that contradiction is one of the most useful things the market has to teach you all week. Hello, I'm Ken Carpenter, and this is Invest AI Savvy, where AI powers smart investing. Welcome to Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. Now, let's talk about this conundrum. Oil is ancient sunlight. Living things accumulated it hundreds of millions of years ago, and the earth buried it and transformed it for us. And almost all that ancient buried power that is oil, when it's finally extracted for our use, must funnel through one improbably narrow place, the Strait of Hormuz, a thin seam of water at the mouth of the Persian Gulf, only a couple of dozen miles across in places, carrying nearly one of every 5 barrels that moves by sea anywhere on the planet. So much riding on so little. For months, that channel has been the pressure point in the war between the United States, Israel, and Iran. And overnight, the pressure went up, not down. What moved oil was not a missile, it was a sentence. Iran is insisting any peace deal include Israel terminating its campaign against Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Israel is not backing off. So the ceasefire everyone was counting on to reopen that strait got more fragile, not less. President Trump says the talks are going fast. Iranian state media says the talks are off. When the two sides can't even agree whether they are talking, oil goes up. West Texas crude is above $96 a barrel this morning, and Brent is nearly 98. And here's the strange part. With every bit of what's going on, the market closed yesterday at a brand new record high. The S&P 500 closed above 7,600 for the very first time, and the Dow set an all-time high right beside it. This morning, the futures are split. The Dow points down, the S&P is flat, and the NASDAQ on the technology side points up. The fear gauge, the VIX, is sitting around 16, which in plain English means the market is calm, not nervous, calm, during a war over oil. One thing to hold on to, the Russell 2000, the index of 2,000 small American companies, is pointing slightly lower, and that's the exact same pond my BuzzPulse system fishes in. So the small cap water is choppy today, and the May jobs report lands this Friday, 2 days out, with the habit of making the market rethink everything it believed on a Wednesday. All right, now's the time for the signal of the day. Every morning, my machine reads thousands of stocks and hunts for the one place where attention is gathering faster than the story can explain it. Some mornings, it finds a name and all but pounds the table. This isn't one of those mornings. Today, it handed me a name and then, in its own words, stamped it speculative. Only a handful of its checks agree. The machine is telling me this is the best I found in a thin field, not the best I've ever found. When BuzzPulse hedges like that, I'm going to hedge too. So hold everything I'm about to say very loosely, and maybe don't call your broker right away after you hear this. The name is Beyond Meat, ticker BYND. Some of you might remember Beyond Meat. A few years ago, it was one of the most exciting stories on the whole market. Plant-based burgers, lines out the door, a stock that briefly traded north of $200 a share. The future of food, everyone said. The system locked it overnight at 76 cents. 76 cents. The future of food marked down to less than a single dollar. So why is it on my board at all? One specific reason. After years of near silence, the conversation around this company has suddenly come back to life. The chatter is spiking well above its own flatlined baseline, and the price has started to tick up alongside it. The system calls that a sentiment anomaly, attention waking up before the price has. The bet the system is making is simple and old. When people start talking about a stock, the price often moves later. The talk came first here. The price has barely budged. That's the whole case. Company hasn't been firing on all cylinders, not a strong signal, just a fallen name people have suddenly started talking about again and again. Maybe it's beef ribs, fake beef ribs. My system caught that chatter early. It may come to nothing. The system is only mildly confident, and this is not a recommendation. The dashboard makes this clear. That's what the system sees in Beyond Meat. Whether it turns into anything, we'll find out together when you tune in tomorrow morning. Now, there's no real watch list today, and that emptiness is its own piece of information. On a morning when the big indexes are setting records, my system only hunts among small, forgotten companies. It came back almost bare. One speculative name and nothing solid behind it. That tells you something about where the money actually is. It is piled into the giants riding the AI wave, and it's not flowing into the small overlooked names where real discovery can happen. When the bottom of the market goes this quiet underneath a record high, it usually means the rally is being carried by a handful of names, not the whole field. On the other side of today's story, the market has fallen completely in love with the artificial intelligence race to build out new infrastructure. Just this week, two big computing companies reported earnings and basically said the demand for AI gear is bottomless. The market set the war on one side, the AI build out on the other, and decided the build out weighs more. So the scale tipped up to a record while the oil went up too. That's not the market being stupid. It's the market doing the one thing it always does. It votes every day on which story matters more for the money. Right now, AI is winning and oil is losing, war and all. And that vote is exactly what my system is built to read. It doesn't predict the war or the jobs number. What it does is notice where the crowd is gathering before the rest of the market has finished voting. The crowd forms first, the price moves second. The headline that makes everyone nod usually shows up last, sometimes days late. Our whole game is to spot the crowd while the explanation is still missing, which is exactly where we are this morning with one quiet fake meat company. Oil is climbing on a war nobody can switch off, and the market still closed at a record because right now investors believe in the AI build out more than they fear the Middle East. That balance holds until something makes them reconsider. And Friday's job number is the next thing that might do that. As for today's signal, it's not a discovery and it's not a conviction call. It's a company the market left for dead, suddenly getting talked about again, and a system paying quiet attention to why. BuzzPulse found something today that wasn't really meaty. Bury the bone and stay tuned to see how this develops. I'm Ken Carpenter. This is Invest AI Savvy, and that's the way it is.